North Central Netball time here on the Flow Friday Sports Show on your Colour of Country Life, Flow FM. The president of the North Central Netball Association, Kylie Walsh, is with us. Kylie, great to be back with you again. How are you and how was the weekend?
Great, thanks, Alice. Yeah, well, it was great to be a retired and now spectator, be sitting behind a window watching the game Saturday. It was pretty horrific with the wind and cold and wet.
Do you have any recollections of back when you were playing, any real torrential rain type scenarios where you just thought, gee whiz, I'd love to be having a Milo, a warm Milo somewhere away from this?
Yes. We were recalling that Saturday a game in Donald's where it hailed and we all tried to hide behind the tallest person to protect us.
As you do. Good stuff. Well, at least that's not a problem you have to worry about anymore these days. So you can enjoy the youth having to worry about that. Let's talk about the Senior C reserves this week and let's focusing on what was quite a thriller between Nullarbor and Sea Lake Nandali. Low scoring one, but 22-23, Sea Lake Nandali getting the win. And we've been saying that a lot, haven't we, this year across some of those lower grades?
Absolutely. And great game for 1 and 2, sitting on the ladder too. So it was like you said, a nail-biting finish with one goal between it, but they certainly used the full capacity of their squads on the sheet and trying to seek that edge over their opponents. But Nullarbor started really strong and they had a settled lineup and they maintained their starting 7 through the beginning of the game, whereas Sea Lake Nandali Tigers, they capitalised on the rolling sub and they seemed to experiment on a few combinations trying to gain that edge, which they achieved that in the third quarter. But gosh, the match would have been intense and the atmosphere would have felt like a pre-grand final showdown, I imagine, with the two top teams, and tension would have been escalated in those final few minutes. But as the whistle blew, Sea Lake Nandali Tigers emerged victorious over there by the 1-goal margin and clinched that game over Nullarbor 23-22.
That might well be a talking point that we should follow up on, the rolling sub. How do people sort of feel about that now? Because are we one season in with that?
Well, this is North Central's first year into it, so I think people are starting to settle into it. But some games teams won't use it. I just think it's good tactically, and probably this end of the season, these last-minute qualifications of players and stuff, it's good to utilise that rolling sub just to get them on games played. But yeah, it depends on the game, and I think I'm looking forward to it in the finals. I think tactically it'd be great to utilise that rolling sub just where you need to change a momentum or change a player combination together. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
Certainly something handy to have up the sleeve, that is for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's talk about the under-17s now. Actually, before we go there, why don't you paint the picture of what's happening Senior C reserve grade-wise as far as the ladder goes?
Sure thing. So, like we mentioned, we've got Sea Lake Nandali Tigers on top with a bit of breathing space, followed by Nullarbor. Their games clear of third place first at Watcham, followed by Witchcliff, Narraport, Wedderburn and St Arnaud. So it's a nice little competition happening here.
Absolutely. All right. To the youth side of the ledger, going to the under-17s. Lots of under-17s players getting some senior action in other competitions across regional Vic. What's happening in your association on that front?
Yeah, we're a bit the same, Alice. It's great for particularly our top age 17 under players just to have that opportunity to have a taste of senior games. And with our C reserve, it's really given the opportunity of players that probably won't get or haven't got full games in the 17s. They're getting the ability to have a game with senior players and get a taste of it. But yeah, you'll see our 17 under players playing right from A grade right through to C res. So it's wonderful, and to give them a taste of a stronger and faster gameplay. Yeah, it's great.
You know what mid to late July means in regional Australian sport? It's the off to Europe exodus / I've got COVID / I've got something exodus, and thus we have this period that happens all across regional sport where we've got our under-17s involved in senior action left, right and centre. So it's good to hear that. Let's talk about some of the results from last weekend. Starting first with Sea Lake Nandali and Nullarbor. How did that unfold in the under-17s? Obviously a very big margin there.
Yeah, it was, Alice. And second place, Nullarbor just proved far too strong for Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers, and that was evident with the halftime score of 18-2. But the young Tigers tried various combinations to ease the pressure and exert a bit more pressure onto the Maroons, but despite all these efforts, the Tigers struggled to break through, and Nullawar's full strength and cohesiveness across their gameplay, that remains their focus, and they were pretty precise with that leading a confident and decisive win. So the Maroons were relentless in their execution, which resulted in that commanding final score of 46-4.
Pressure was on St Arnaud to get a win against bottom place Donald, and they did not disappoint, 59-25.
Yeah, that's right. And it was always going to be challenging for Donald, but they should be pleased with their consistency across all four quarters. And Chloe Needs from the Saints, she played a dominating role in the goals and confident combining with her teammates, and that maintained their momentum. But Sonata demonstrated a strategic gameplay using the ability to tweak their combinations without faltering their gameplay. So Saints really showcased their third place position strength with that comfortable win over Donald, delivering that final score of 59-25.
Similarly, it was always going to be the case that Charlton would struggle away to Birchip, who are top, Birchip Watcham. And it was a handy win for Birchip Watcham. But again, a low-scoring game.
Yes. There was a lot of balls going sideways with the gusts of wind, probably like the other games as well. But the Bulls squad, they continued to execute the game plan with their finesse, and they're looking very strong, and they've had the ability to change a few of their combinations in various opportunities. But it really took both teams time to adjust to this horrific weather, and it was certainly favourable for defenders last Saturday. But yeah, I think that's where the low score was because of this wind. But there was immense pressure trying to hold their possession despite Charlton's challenges. But yeah, that Bulls merged too strong, 22-5 over Charlton.
All right, a quick look at the under-17s ladder. Birchip top, Birchip Watcham, Nullarbor second, St Arnaud third, Witchy-Proof Narraport 4th, Charlton 5th, Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers 6th, Port 7th, Wedderburn Redbacks 8th, and Donald in 9th. Are we going to get any monumental changes between now and the next few weeks, do you think, Kylie?
I think the 17s in particular, the top four are quite settled, particularly first and second place. Sonata and Witchy-Proof are in the top four. I think Charlton can possibly just rattle the cage a little bit as they are in other grades. But yeah, I think particularly the top three are quite settled in the 17 and under at this stage. All
right, well, it's over to you, Kylie, for a preview of the A grade for tomorrow's games. So you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Alice. With the ladder of A grade, it really didn't alter that much. So I thought it might have slightly, but Wedderburn is sitting on top, followed by Nullarbor, and between third and fifth place, it's extremely close with Birchip Watcham, Port, Charlton, Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers, Donald, Witchproof Narraport, and followed by St Arnaud. So it's wonderful this time of year that there's still a lot of pressure, in particular that top five at this stage. Like you said, we're going into round 15 this week, so we have Charlton at home to Nullarbor. So Charlton will be extremely happy with their nail-biting win over the Bulls last weekend. So they'll be looking for another scalp this weekend, and I'm sure their whole home crowd will be cheering them on because there's so much to play for with this game. But Nullarbor being so experienced with their tight game against the Tigers last weekend, and they demonstrated their tendency to rise to the challenge of pressure. So this game promises to be a battle of wit and composure, and Charlton in particular will be eyeing on a top four position. So this will add intensity to the contest. But it's going to be a wonderful game of netball, and I hope all the supporters enjoy this thrilling match-up ahead. We have Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers playing home to Donald. So despite their ladder positions, I think this will be a great game, and the Tigers are still grasping at straws trying to get that top four, which that should spur on their team. And Donald are always challenging as they come, and they should never be underestimated. So there's an extra incentive on their line to try and shut down the Tigers. So if the Tigers have any chance of toppling Donald, they've got to deliver a solid four quarters. But there's a lot at stake with this matchup, so it'll be intense and competitive. So the spectators should look forward to an exciting game with this one as well. We have Port at home to Birchip Watcham, and again, like other games, there's a lot on the line for both these on Saturday. So it's third versus fourth, and it's a vital matchup, particularly with the impact of neighbouring games. So both teams will be, I'm sure, scrutinising their challenges, their strategies Thursday night, and aiming for a match-winning lineup for their combinations. And both haven't had a full squad the last few weeks, so it'll be interesting to see what their matchups will be and how that team copes pressure and with a clear purpose of getting the win on. So there's a lot at stake with this game, and it'll be an exciting contest. So I look forward to watching this game. And the final game we have Wedderburn versus Witchproof Narrowport, and this is going to be a tough game for Witchproof Narrowport on Saturday, and hopefully they can stick to their individual game plans and enjoy the match against Wedderburn. Wedderburn have had a few significant challenges recently with some key players sidelined, unfortunately due to season-ending injuries, which is not a situation that any team wants to experience. But despite these setbacks, I think they'll probably test some new combinations and some fresh game plans, but preparing for the games ahead. And we have Sanana with a bye.
Great wrap-up. I just wonder, before we let you go, Kylie, nothing much as the president escapes the grips of your hands. Have you got a weather report for us this weekend?
I believe it's only going to be well and not very pleasant, but I'm hoping that we won't have the wind. So
yes.
Rug up everyone.
Yes, those elements hopefully will not be the same as last weekend. Kylie Walsh, president of the North Central Netball Association. Always great to have a yarn with you, and stay warm on the weekend. Enjoy watching.
Thank you, Alice. You have a great weekend too.